Right, have we started? I think so. Okay. Right, not that I'm going to leave any of it in, but there is about 20 seconds of me just sat doing nothing, because I've no idea how to start this. What do I say? Right, hello. I have wanted to do this for quite a while and just haven't, for various reasons, mainly being I didn't have any sort of setup or kit, but then I realised I have a phone and that's kind of all the kit you need, so that's what we're going with. I'm Hannah. I am want to be a historian. I currently work in a museum. I'm not strictly a historian, but I, for a very long time, have watched a lot of YouTube and really enjoy watching YouTube and thought that would be something I would quite like to have a go at, so we're doing it. At the beginning of this year I set myself a little bit of a New Year's resolution. I'm not much of a resolutions person, but I did want to try and push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more, so that's why we're here. Right. Hi, welcome to this video, however you managed to find it. I'd imagine potentially through my Instagram, because I'm imagining I'm going to post about it there. But I'm Hannah. I am a historian, I work in a museum, but I'm a big lover of theatre and books, and since 2020 I've had a Bookstagram account, which in the last week and a half I've really got back into posting on. For a long time I was very work focused, so I've not really done anything that I really want to do, and for a really long time I've wanted to have a go at making videos, and it's only recently I feel like I've actually got things to talk about and things that I actually want to say, so that's why we're here. Welcome, thanks for joining. Apologies if the quality of the video isn't great. Apologies if I also keep looking off to what I think will be the left, but the camera's mirrored for some reason, I don't know how. All I have is like a selfie stick tripod, my phone and a laptop which I'm screen sharing to be able to actually see me and make sure I'm in the frame, so it doesn't look hugely professional, but we'll give it a go. So like I said, for a really long time I've wanted to make videos, but now that I'm actually sat down doing it, I'm realising it's really difficult, and I can't remember the last time I was watching YouTube and I watched someone's first video. I tend to just like find people and watch from wherever they're at that point. I think the last time I watched the first video was probably in about 2014, and I imagine they've changed quite a lot since then. So yeah, this is just a little bit of an introduction to me and what I want this channel to be about. I am a bit of a tangent person. I will start talking about something and then go off on a tangent. So even if I say what I'm going to mainly be focusing on, who knows what else is actually going to be discussed or talked about, or what I will actually have an opinion on. So yeah, briefly mentioned earlier, I'm I say historian, I want to be a historian. I've not published anything and I've not finished any research that I want to finish, but I'm hoping that somehow through this channel I'll be able to share some of the things history-wise I'm interested in. Primarily I am a huge lover of theatre and books, and that is what this channel is mostly going to be talking about. But because of my sort of history background, really interested in the history of theatre and the history of theatres as a whole. Sure, you can probably guess by my accent. I live in the south of England. I am Welsh, if you can hear a bit of a twang. I can't personally hear it, but apparently people do. So yeah, I am Welsh, I live in the south of England. I'm not too far away from London, so I do end up going to the theatre quite a lot. That's what a lot of my wages go on every month. Recently I've been to see quite a lot of shows, and I've got quite a lot of shows booked for the rest of the year, and every time I leave a theatre I think I need to talk about this with someone. I don't have people super close that are as into theatre and the behind the scenes stuff as I am. So I do talk about it, I talk at them about it, and maybe there are people watching this who would like to hear some of that a little bit more than like my family do. So yeah, that's mainly what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm also very into books. Reading is a very big thing for me. I've always really enjoyed it. My love of it came back sort of through the pandemic. So since then I've been reading a lot more as well. And yeah, that's pretty much a bit of a background for me. I don't know what this sort of first section is going to be like. I'd imagine there's a lot of rambling, and I can hear myself saying a lot, which isn't ideal. Just stop myself doing it again. As I go on, I'm sure I will get more comfortable. Done it again. So, let's talk a little bit more about me and my background, and who am I to be talking about the things that I want to talk about. So I did history and archaeology at university. I did an undergraduate degree in history and archaeology at the University of Winchester, which I absolutely loved. My second year was cut short due to COVID. We got an email one day saying, effective immediately, the rest of the year is cancelled. So I missed out on sort of half of, well, I say half, probably about a quarter of my second year. And then a lot of my third year was done distance learning and sort of condensed classes, which wasn't ideal, but I did all right. I managed to pass. I actually did quite well. I got a 2-1. And then I stayed on and did a master's as well in cultural heritage and resource management, which sounds like a lot, but basically it means museum stuff. I can work in museums. Then moved back home to South Wales. I was working at the Royal Mint for a year as a tour guide, and then for a year as the exhibition manager in their museum. And then luckily, as my contract was coming up there, another contract came up as an exhibition manager. So I moved across the country, halfway across the country in less than a month. And I've been living here ever since as an exhibition manager. I really enjoy my job. I actually really love my job. I'm quite a creative person, and working in museum exhibitions means that I get to be a little bit creative, do a little bit of research, all that good stuff. But because it's part of an organisation which has values and guidelines and all sorts of things, and of course, I mean, I can't just put my own interest into everything I do. That is not the way that these things work. It means that there's quite a lot of things I'm really interested in that I don't get to explore too much. So I'm hoping that through doing this, I'll actually force myself to do a little bit more reading about the things I enjoy, and making more time for that as a priority rather than sort of leaving it as a, I don't know, like a treat. I feel like I should be able to enjoy doing things. Not that it's a bit strange. Anyway, I'm rambling now. But yeah, that's why I'm starting this. It's gonna primarily be me talking about theatre stuff and books, if that sounds like it will be interesting to you. Once I've actually got a subject to talk about, I will be much more, maybe not maybe entertaining, but succinct and have a bit of a point to what I'm saying. At the moment, that is very much not the case because I'm talking about myself, which I don't hugely love doing. So I mean, I probably should say at the beginning of this video, just skip over this. This is mainly to just get me talking in front of a camera because it's really strange. Like I mentioned earlier, I tour guided, I can speak in front of people, that is not an issue. Speaking to a tripod is a completely different kettle of fish. I actually a couple of weeks ago in work had the opportunity to do a little like piece to camera, and they asked if I would, and I said no, which was really daft because it was about an exhibition I just opened. It was one of my own, and they said, can you talk about it? And I said, I absolutely cannot. And I've been kicking myself about it ever since. So this is a way of forcing me to do it, so I stop saying no to things like that, because I think it will be really useful in the future for me to be able to do things. And also I don't want to feel like I'm missing out or turning down opportunities either. So yeah, if that sounds like something interesting, something you'd be interested in, stick around. I will upload sporadically, I'm sure, or when I've got something to say. But yeah, thanks for checking in, and I'll be back soon.